Hello and welcome to game number 2 between SlayerSBoxeR and TSLSangHo. Boxer is going to be playing as the blue Terran on the right hand side, and Sangho will be playing as the red Protoss player on the left hand side. The map is Scrap Station, and this map is known for its very close air distance between these two bases. And if you have seen game number 1, you have seen what Sangho can do with those beautiful phoenixes. He hid his tech really well, and Boxer did not know until he was engaging the phoenixes, and that gave him a little bit of trouble. Let's see if Boxer is going to adapt to that new strategy, or at least it's news to me. And we do see that probe is inside the base of Boxer at the moment as the barracks is finishing, and the probe is actually going to be taking some shots at the barracks as the marine has not yet come out. The orbital command is on the way along with the cyber core for the Protoss player Sangho. We do see Boxer is moving his SCV across the middle of the map. This is a really long distance for you to go on the ground. However, on the air it's extremely short, and cybercore is about 60% done, and we do see the marines are going to be coming out for Boxer. And once again, we have seen Sangho take the early gas in game number 1, and it looks like he will be going for an early gas in game number 2 as well. But Boxer does know about this, so he might suspect that he will be seeing the same Phoenix play as game number 1. Let's see if Boxer can adapt to this game changer, as one zealot is about to spawn. I think the SCV is trying to bait the zealot to chase it, and let's keep an eye on this SCV as we take a look inside Boxer's base. Boxer has already made 2 marines. Marines are scouting around for any pylons around the base. This is really good play and very safe to do, and he's making his first marauder. He does like to make those 2 marines and then 1 marauder with the tech lab so you can get the upgrades. It looks like that one SCV did pass that probe there and left him unharmed, and there's going to be 1 zealot coming to hold the tower in case a marine shows up to try to ruin that probe's day. And right now we see the barracks is going to be attached to a reactor as the marine, 2 marines and 1 marauder moving out to the middle. There's 1 probe hiding on the side here. I think he's waiting for Boxer to come. These players are so great, they know the timing of each other's moves, and it looks like he might be able to escape by here. The probe is not within the range of Boxer's vision. Boxer will not see the probe that is hidden down here. Boxer is moving back, and the probe, where is the probe? The probe is right there, and it looks like he might actually catch a glimpse of it. Somehow he knew in his heart that there was a probe there, but the probe does manage to get by that 1 marine or 1 marauder because one of the marines was left back at the middle. And this probe, its only purpose in life is to scout the base of Boxer, and he has achieved just that. He does see all 3 barracks right now, and 1 SCV is going to be coming out here to construct, no, not really refinery. It looks like he's going to be building a bunker out here, as he has already expanded to the command center and the outside. And that 1 probe finally goes down, but that is definitely worth the 50 minerals. It was a nice trick on Boxer, forcing him to sort of chase the zealot away on the other side and bringing his attention away from the probe that was hidden on the right hand side near these mineral patches. Just absolutely great play there from Sangho. And we see Boxer is trying to get the saturation up on his natural expansion, as his base is pretty well saturated with SCVs. Probe is coming out across the middle, once again holding that middle point, and we do see a robotics facility. This is pretty much a must build for Terran, because the impact of the Banshee is so great that if they were to get a Banshee and you don't have the detection, it's pretty much very difficult to come back from that deficit. And if we take a look at the army count, as this SCV is trying to make his way across, won't be able to make it against a lot of sentries. 4 sentries coming across the middle of the map, 1 observer coming across the middle of the map to the front of the gate of Boxer. Boxer is very good. I think he did spot it, as he did sort of fidget that marauder just a little bit. As we take a look at the army count, it is at 44 to 46, extremely close. It's almost as this game is perfectly balanced already. Not that I'm saying it's not. Robotics Bay is coming up for the Protoss player Sangho, as he's flying around his observer. Observers are really usually difficult to spot, but if you're a good player, what you can do is you can rotate the camera this way, or you can zoom in and zoom out, and that will give away the movement of the observer, even though if the observer is standing perfectly still, because when you change the camera angle, the observer will stay in place, whereas everything else moves. So it's sort of like distorting reality. Of course, it's not distorting reality, but we do see 2 assimilator are going to be coming online at the moment. In the meantime, an observer is inside the base of Boxer, and an observer is in the front line of Boxer, so he sees exactly what Boxer is doing. But if we take a look at Boxer's vision, he does not yet see the robotics facility, and once again we see the double Stargate for SangHo. He's probably going for the double Phoenix once again. It has proven to be very successful for him in the previous games, and if we take a look at the army count right now, we see 14 Marines, 3 Marauders versus 1 Zealot and 4 Sentries. But these Sentries, you really need to get them early, because the earlier you get them, the more energy they can have. And it looks like Boxer is thinking about expanding once again. As we take a look at the income of both these players, relatively close in terms of minerals, but gas is way more for the Protoss player, as he did get the second gas early, and he also has his third and fourth gas running already, whereas Boxer has recently only gotten his third. And if we take a look, Boxer is going to be moving out, and SangHo does know, because he does have one observer here, and he also has a probe in the middle here, and that probe is going to run. Very good play there from SangHo. Run away, and he will be able to run away. It looks like Colossus will be in play once again, and if we take a look inside Boxer's vision, he has not yet scanned, but he should probably scan relatively soon, as it is probably a good time to scan, I think, to always keep tabs on what your opponent is doing. He is going to be scouting with this factory. He doesn't really like that factory, I suppose. He just wants to have it there, have it patrol back and forth to see if there's any harass coming his way. And no scan has yet taken place. As we take a look at the army count, 81 to 77, still really close. And as we take a look at the APM of both these players, at peace, these players are already hitting at 200, 300 APM. That is simply amazing. I can't imagine what the APM is like once they start fighting each other and once the action really gets heated. We do see Combat Shield, along with Concussive Shell, is currently being researched by Boxer, and Boxer is also going to be opening up his 4th gas. Man, things are building up, and I think Boxer does know that there's an observer over there. It looks like he's positioned his troops just in range, and as soon as he scans, he will be able to take it down if he chooses. Another observer in the back. So if we take a look at the vision of SangHo, he does see perfectly exactly what's going on, and Boxer might be thinking about coming in here to do some harass with these Vikings. Vikings are coming in. There's going to be one Colossus caught completely out of position. He has absolutely no anti-air except for a handful of those Sentries, and 2 Phoenixes spawn just in time, and now he has revealed his hand, Phoenixes once again, and we can see that the planetary fortress is being warped in at the 3 o'clock, or the very middle position for Boxer, as he's grabbing his 3rd expansion, and these Phoenixes and Viking are duking it out, but the Sentries really help, as the Sentries could do some damage. Maybe he doesn't want his Colossus getting shot at, and more Zealots are being ordered. Zealots are really good against any infantry unit, both Marauders and Marines, if they can get close enough. Especially with the Sentries' help, they will be able to force field and sort of force the Marines and Marauders to engage. So right now, Boxer knows what's coming, and look what he's doing. He's going to be building double Stargate. He already had 1 Stargate next to a reactor. Now he's going to be building 2 more Stargates. It looks like he wants to do an air battle and make sure he wins the air battle. Once he wins the air battle, he probably will be able to micro his way to victory on the ground as well. This is a very good idea, very smart play. And we see 3 Phoenixes versus, it looks like 4 Vikings. The Vikings almost taking down 1 Phoenix almost immediately. Ooh, very close there. The Phoenixes do fly very fast, and that is the only disadvantage of the Vikings. They do have longer range than the Phoenix, but the Phoenix can fly a little bit quicker and disengage if they choose to. So the battle really does go in favor of the Phoenix, unless they're both engaging each other, in which case whoever has more units will win, I suppose. And there's 1 observer over here, and there is 1 probe along with 1 pylon over there, and there is some scuffle over the middle of the map as they're both trying to retain control of that precious Zelnaga watchtower. If we take a look at the income right now, we do see Boxer is ahead, as he does have this expansion and he is mining, but his opponent does know, and looks like he will be coming across the middle. And of course Boxer does know, as he does have the factory at the side, so both players knowing exactly what the other player has. This is Starcraft at the highest level, both players sort of revealing their hand, but also sort of still tricking each other into trying to do what the other doesn't think he's going to do. And if we take a look at the army size right now, it's at 137 to 136, just that close. It's about 14 minutes into the game playtime, and it's only still separated by 1 or 2 unit. And it looks like Colossus is retreating a little bit, as these Phoenixes are trying to scour the map for any potentially out of place units, and he will be able to take down that 1 Marine. It looks like Boxer is going to make a push with these. That is, it looks like 12 Vikings, and ow, that bunch of Phoenixes took a long and a hard hit. And some of these sentries are getting into the midst of it, but as you can see here, the Phoenixes are dying much quicker than the Vikings. Most of the Vikings are surviving. There's only 4 Phoenixes left, and the 4 Phoenixes are trying to fly away. He's trying to bait Boxer. They're coming over here where some of the sentries will be able to help his Phoenixes, but Boxer does not bite. Boxer making 4 more Vikings out right now. He does not have reactors on these buildings, as he probably wants to save gas, because those buildings do require quite a bit of gas, and he does come around here and pick up the Marauder, and will be able to kill off once again. Army size at 151 to 155, extremely close. Both players at 0-0 upgrade. I think they're both starting their very first upgrade, the ground infantry armor, as well as the Protoss army ground armor number 1, and the Protoss has already established a base at the gold expansion. Boxer does not yet see it, and Boxer is moving back and forth. He's being really careful. He wants to always leave one unit there so he knows what's going on. He also has a factory over here to check on these set of destructible rocks, so his opponent can't really come into his base unless the opponent flies his Phoenixes into the base, in which case it would be open season, I suppose. And Phoenix are coming, and there's a lot more Vikings. There is about, it looks like 8 times 2 is 16, and the Phoenixes are going down. There's half as many Phoenixes, and 3 Phoenixes go down almost immediately. All the Vikings have survived, and he's trying to bait the Vikings to come in here, and he does not have enough of those sentries. He is going to engage, however, regardless. I think 2 more Phoenixes have spawned, but it looks like the Vikings are winning tremendously in this battle. Some of the sentries are helping a little bit, but I think almost all of the Vikings survived, and almost all the Phoenixes have gone down, and the Vikings are now shooting these Colossus. Colossus is going down really fast. One Colossus is almost completely dead, and he's at only, he's at 0 HP. He was only at like 3 HP a while ago. And at the same time, Boxer is going to harass the bottom location, the gold expansion. These probes are going down so quickly. They're trying so desperately. Maybe he should have ran them away instead of trying to fight off those Marines, because probes are not the counter to Marines. I don't know what you're thinking. And SangHo is going to push out here. He knows he is behind in both economy and army. He needs to make something happen. He's already lost all of his Phoenixes. Army count right now at 133 to 166, still relatively close, but there is a definite advantage for Boxer, as he is on 3 base, and he does have a higher income as well as gas, it looks like, because he is going to be on 6. And there are a lot of Vikings shooting down. One Colossus almost immediately. Second Colossus going down. A surround from Vikings and Marines and Marauders on both sides. These Zealots have nowhere to go, even though these are really good force fields. He was engaging from both sides, and these Vikings are landing, and man, that is a glorious battle. Boxer completely trapped SangHo, and SangHo is losing all of his units. It's now 157 versus 58, and SangHo calls GG. Man, that was an exciting game. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and game number 3 will be coming your way very shortly. Thanks for listening, and if you like what you see, please do subscribe, and thanks. See you at the next game.